Okay, so I want to talk about this thing, size does matter. Well, it does matter if we're talking about diving watches. Here I've got a Seiko Prospex 200 meter air diver. Let's have a look at it. This is just, I would say, a regular sized, regular kind of dive watch. Right, it's about a bit over a centimeter thick, and you can see that there. Now I'm going to place next to it a slightly bigger diving watch. This is a Citizen Eco Drive Promaster 300 meter saturation dive, and you can see it sits higher and it's a little bit bigger in diameter, though not much, but certainly it's much thicker. Can you see that there? It's much thicker and it's heavier too. Okay, and now I'm going to place next to this one. So I would say this is quite a large dive watch. This is a regular sized dive watch. There are smaller ones, but I'm going to say that's regular. This is a bigger one, and this is a ginormous size dive watch. This is the Citizen Aqualand 200 meter diver, and let's compare that one. You can see it's physically bigger here than here. Let's have a look at that. It's much thicker, the case, and it's certainly much heavier, although this does have adapters on here. So why am I talking about all this? Well, many might consider buying one of these. These seem really popular, just the Aqualand model per se, to wear as a daily wearer. Let's talk about that. Right, okay, for those that are considering wearing these as a daily wearer as opposed to a regular dive watch, if you like the idea of that, just look at the size difference. There's a huge size difference, and there's a weight difference too, but just a size difference. Not only in thickness, which also means height of the watch, and also diameter. Now, and there's a lot of things sticking out on these kind of watches. There's nothing sticking out on this. But you've got the depth sensor, you've got the reset buttons, and of course the crown. Even it's a big crown on here, it sticks out further than this crown. So to wear one of these as a daily wearer, it's a big watch, and if you're not scuba diving, you're paying for a lot of things. It's a crowded dial. The dial you can't read the time from very quickly as you can from this. It's easier to see, but you've got all these hands and everything all over it. Whereas if you're scuba diving, you're taking your time reading your dial. You shouldn't be reading the dial in a hurry, any of your gauges or whatever. It's a purpose-built tool for scuba diving. And I think that to consider it, to wear it as a daily wearer, it's just not a practical watch. Let's say you want a chunky watch to go swimming at the beach with. Well, this can easily handle it, and you can also go scuba diving with this. So anyway, if you're considering this watch as a daily wearer, you do need to think about the size and the fact that you'll be getting a watch which is not fast to read the time. There's many things to extra service. On a regular dive watch, you've just got the bezel, but on this one, you're going to get sand and dirt in here. You're going to get dirt around there as a daily wearer. If you want to wear it swimming, it's also, going to get water in here, and it says in the service menu you have to keep these sensors clean. You might say, well, I don't need to keep the sensors clean because I'm not going scuba diving. Well, in that case, why buy the watch if you're not going scuba diving? That's just my personal thoughts on it. So that's why I would recommend, if you like the chunky, tough, super daily wearer, I would recommend just a regular dive watch. If you have to have a dive watch, it's still got the chunky look to it. It's got the bezel on it, but you see it's much smaller than this. It's much smaller. It does not stick out as far. You see the thickness, just compare the thickness and the weight. It's not so much the weight, it's the thickness. It's uncomfortable to wear this to bed. If you like wearing a watch 24/7, it's uncomfortable to wear this to bed because it's just so big and heavy. And it is a purpose-built tool. Not that this is not a purpose-built tool, but you can wear the regular scuba diving watch just as a daily wearer. And you're not paying for anything extra. As it is already with this, you have to service the bezel if you wear it on the beach because the sand is a killer for bezels. And I've done a recent video on how to keep these bezels clean on that. Yeah, so that's just my take on it. Why I wouldn't buy the Aqualand just as a daily wearer. It's fine if you're going to go scuba diving with it because you're going to clean it with the rest of your gear, but it's just a big chunky watch. Okay, and if you still have to have a chunkier watch, consider a model such as this. It's chunkier than this, it's thicker than this, it's got a really big chunky case. It's still, though, a regular dive watch. Okay, this is a saturation diving watch. It's a bit more unregular than this air diver's watch, but it's still got your chunky look to it about it, but it doesn't have to have all these other features, and you can read the time off of this just as quickly as this, whereas these watches are slow to read the time. And if that's something important to you, if you just want to have the look and wear this around and you're not using it for scuba diving, on the ego side of things, because let's face it, all us blokes have egos, be prepared for the day you're at the party and someone asks you, are you a scuba diver? And you say, no, I'm not a scuba diver. Well, why are you wearing this watch? That's all I have to say about that. So anyway, seriously, on the consideration of where size does matter, I think as a daily wearer, this is a great daily wearer, a regular sized dive watch like this. This is getting more of a, you know, unless you're used to wearing a watch all the time, dive watch. And this thing, yeah, I'm only wearing it for diving and not as a daily wearer because they're just too big. Even the current models of Aqualands, they are designed as a tool. All right, bush camping tools here. Thanks for watching.